I'm not good with camera equipment, so I don't know if this thing is running. I'm the Purple Lotus. That's what someone called me one time. I'm not good with this kind of. I'm not good with speaking. I'm good with writing. Okay, so in 1999, late, like December, right close to New Year's Eve, I was in Seattle, Washington, and I had what I just, it was like a shamanic experience. From what I've read over time, that's how I describe it anyway. I had this idea that I had gotten from reading an article about something that Aleister Crowley and John Parsons did, where they claimed the new century for, they just claimed the new century. So my idea was, I always wanted to live in a realm where there were superheroes, right? Because, you know, reading comic books growing up and all this kind of stuff. But I wasn't really a collector. I was a reader. I really garnered what was going on and the magic therein. So my idea was to claim the new century for what I call the post-human, or the super type. I know it's a little nutty, but just bear with me for a little bit. So I took to the streets. It was freezing cold. I was like in a white t-shirt and khaki pants and like with flip-flops on. And I made some sigils on the shirt claiming the new century for the Dawn Man. And it's all silly now in retrospect, but my point is that I was telling everybody about the coming of the superheroes. Yeah, silly, right? Crazy, even. I like that anyway. So, a couple weeks later, after the kind of mania lifted or whatever, I was working at a comic book shop in Seattle, in downtown, in the U District, and my boss comes in and throws this newspaper down, like the local entertainment paper, down on my on the table, and it said there was a picture of a guy in a blue hoodie with a domino mask on, sort of thing, a blue one, and he was calling himself the Messenger, and he had a Gabriel's trumpet symbol on his tunic. And I thought, hey, there it is right there. Wow, look at that. He was a superhero and he was handing out this thing called the Bugle, which was a paper calling the year 2000 the year of the superhero. And I thought, for me, all this stuff is coming together in pretty much a cosmic fashion. So, wow. So I created an identity called the Upright Mobile Man. And I took to the streets of Seattle walking around. I had a few adventures. I worked security for a local artist who was running for mayor. I did a lot of little street patrol stuff. There was this one convenience store that I kind of posted up around a lot. I sort of was the guardian of the convenience store. The owner of the place knew me, and he like asked me to help here and there with a couple things that happened. Like little stuff, or I got a wallet back for this woman from a guy who took it off the counter and walked out of the store with it. I showed up in my mask and bomber jacket and everything. Hey, give me the wallet, all this kind of. So I was young, and so anyway, time passes. I moved to Florida to start a new life, pretty much, and I kind of let that whole trip go. Meanwhile, I had found the other superheroes. An aside, CAPE was the organization that this Messenger was part of. It was called Citizens in Appreciation of Powerful Entities. And they had a website, and they had their Bugle newspaper. And I come to find out years later that the guy who set that up is today a Seattle superhero. I don't like that word, but anyway, that's the word we have, called the White Baron. So you see how all this kind of stuff synchronistically fits together in cool little ways. Anyway, so all this happens. Let me drift. I'm not an editor. I can't edit a video and do all this kind of stuff. I got to kind of just shoot from the hip and hope it plays out. All right, so White Baron, Cape. So yeah, oh, through Cape and the website, I, as the upright mobile man, had found the other superheroes, the other masked weirdos, and what a beautiful thing that was. Over time, I kept following the internet. I kept searching the word "real superhero." Finally, someone somewhere coined the term "real life superheroes" somewhere along the way, and I started following that, and I found Master Legend. And I had heard these other guys, come on and like, I am this, and I go and do this, and this is my trip, and that's what I do, and this is fun, blah, 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 whatever. Master Legend had something. He spoke differently. He came, for me anyway, he came real. And just some of the things he said and the way he said it, I thought, man, this is some cosmic stuff right here. This guy's the real deal. I come to find out years later that is in fact the case. In my opinion, I know other people have opinions of Legend, but for me, he's a personal hero. Anyway, so I'm living in Florida. I'm starting a new life. Things are changing for me. Getting a lot better. I'm still following the superheroes online. I go to a Halloween party one year, and I guess, God, I'm bad with numbers and time recording, but I think it's like 10, 11 years ago now. Now it's 2013, and so whatever that number would be if you subtract 10 or 11. So anyway, so I go to this party, and my idea was to look like a 1940s style mystery man. I know that won't mean anything to anybody but like our comic readers that are seeing this, but like a pulp kind of character, the Shadow, the Phantom, what have you, all this kind of stuff. I had always been a big fan of the color purple, and I had a green shirt and a purple tie, and I bought a black Zorro mask, and I had some gloves, and I just wore some like dress shoes, and I had a purple tie. I think I said that, and I found this jacket at a thrift shop for $4, and it had these gaudy gold buttons on it. Now, I know all this seems trivial, but I'm getting around to how this makes sense or what it means or why it's pertinent. Anyway, so, I get the jacket. I go to this Halloween party. There's an establishment here in Florida called the Purple Lotus, and someone that was a customer of that establishment saw me at this party with the purple jacket and the mask and stuff, and jokingly said, "What are you, the Purple Lotus?" And I thought, wow, that sounds kind of neat. I like the way that name sounds. So I said, yeah, that's me. That's what's up. So that's how that's how I received my moniker. So I'm an illustrator, cartoonist, artist, and not professionally. I've done a little bit of professional work. I worked at an ad agency for a little while, done a lot of freelance logo stuff and all this, but I'm in a different field now. Anyway, so for a while I was going to do the Purple Lotus stories. I crafted, I was landscaping at the time, and the plant thing was really what I was keying in on as far as developing the fictional character, the Purple Lotus. I want, flower, plant, landscaping, all this kind of stuff. But as I researched more and more online, I've always been a magic enthusiast, the occult, metaphysics, all this kind of stuff. I think it comes with the whole art thing. I think they kind of go hand in hand. But so I started looking at the words, the Purple Lotus, and purple is kind of a magical color, and lotus is death and rebirth and all this kind of stuff. And I won't tell you how far deep I've gotten with that kind of stuff, because that's not really stuff you should talk about in common circles. And since I'm going to post this on YouTube, that's not that would be a very common circle. So anyway, so I dress up for Halloween as the Purple Lotus a couple years, and meanwhile I'm following the superheroes online and talking with them and conversing with them. Tothian was one of my early friends online. I love Tothian's crazy ass. You know, I like it all weird. I love the weird shit and the weird people and stuff. The crazier I figure, the more, I don't know, the more magic there is in there somewhere. Anyway, beside the point, everybody's got an opinion on that, and most of it is negative. So mine is not. So I'm doing that. One day, I'm at home, and Minnesotan superhero named Geist, who's pretty prolific. He's one of the more popular at this time costumed peoples, activists, whatever you want to call real life superheroes, for lack of a better label. He pops up on my Facebook one day. He says, "Hey, this guy, something's up with him. Don't talk to him." And I said, "Whoa!" So I messaged the guy. I said, "Hold up. I have nothing but wonder and awe and inspiration and love for this whole thing that you guys are doing. What's going on? What's that all about?" And this guy in Utah, great guy, super nice guy, Red Voltage, pops in, and he's like, no, this guy's cool. What's going on? Why are you saying this? Meanwhile, I was still going. I still was using my. I don't have a secret identity, but my other, my name. I was using my name online at this time, and I guess I didn't know that some of the masked peoples knew that I was really kind of staying in touch with them. But I guess some people keyed in on that idea, and he was like, no, this guy's cool, And then Geist got back to me later and said that he had been the victim of some kind of manipulative joke, to look like an ass or something. That was what he said in a message to me. Anyway, so that got me thinking. I'm like, man, maybe it's time to get real again. So I did, and it became less of a Halloween costume, and I quit doing the story thing with the art and thinking of it as a fiction. And I said, okay. So my first night out, I just had some paint. I traded up the mask for the paint. I was using paint, and I had like a green shirt and a purple tie, and some gloves and a camera on my belt. And I went and bought a book bag full of waters, and walked around town, giving people water. I kept it simple. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was older and wiser, and for me, I did not want to approach this in a combative crime fighter fashion. I didn't see it as realistic, for me anyway. So, I didn't have money for all this armor and stuff. I didn't want to look threatening or something. I'm going for friendly, or at least strange enough to be entertaining. So the first thing I did was walk up to some cops that had their spotlight going. They were in the middle of this street, and I walked right up to them. I said, "Hey," and I had the book bag full of water. I said, "Hey, look, this is my name. This is what I'm doing. Do you need help doing what you're doing right now?" Of course, they're obviously like, no, get out of here. And I said, okay. And they kind of left me alone. Over time, the cops around in my local area became familiar with me, and I would stop and talk with them when they were having their little powwows, and I became more or less a novelty to them, which is good, because they could have seen me as something else. So over this time, I would wake up during the day. At this time, I wasn't employed. I'm not going to get into my financial situations. Of course, that's my business, but I had a lot of time. So I would wake up in the day, and I would conceive a mission, and I would gear up. I always treated my gear as versatile. Daytime gear is t-shirt, black goggles. As long as I kept my color theme the same. That's the designer, artist, illustrator in me, is thinking about the aesthetic part of this whole trip. So to maintain consistency and to maintain identity, I would keep the color theme going. So anyway, so I would stop, straight up stop for disabled vehicles. I would put boxes of comic books in my truck and drive them over. The Lotus loader, that's the name of my truck. Thank you. I came up with that myself. Drive comic books over to the youth centers or the community center in my gear and get out, and the kids are entertained by that, and I give them comic books and dash. Later on, I found out the dudes at the community center were selling my books that I gave for the kids on eBay, so I had to change that. I tried to do it at a hospital once. They wouldn't let me bring anything to the kids ward in the hospital. And it wasn't even because of my appearance. It was anybody that didn't have a specific appointment. I always shot from the hip. I'm not a very, I don't calculate like that. Maybe I should, but I like the stream of consciousness kind of, yeah, I know. Anyway, so do stuff like that. I brought water to cops, and here's a good story. I brought water to, there was a protest thing going on with FAU students, which is a local university, with the BP thing. Remember the BP thing a few years ago where everybody was in an uproar about BP? There was a BP station. These kids were had their signs up and all this stuff, and I seen them out there, and I said, it's hot. It was a very hot day. The cops are sitting in their car watching the kids, making sure everything is staying in control. And I said, so I park my truck. I walk in. I got my purple and black on. I walk into in my goggles. And I walk into the convenience store. I buy a whole bunch of water, a cooler, ice, and I put it all together. I go over, I give the cops some water. I go over, to give the kids some water. And then the owner comes out. He says, "Hey, you! Hey, get this truck out of here! I'll call I'll have you arrested, or the truck or something to the effect of, you're wrong. Get out." And I said, "Hold on! I bought the water from your establishment. I gave it to the police and to the kids, and I created a circle." And the guy stopped, and he was stunned. He said, "Thank you. Okay." And cool, and that was that gave me some motivation. So I started really getting into patrol. I would seek out the city areas, which are like 20 minutes north of me and 20 minutes south of me. So I would go to these places and do a lot of street time, walking up and down, walking down the alleys, walking into different places and stuff. There were a couple of spots that I would frequent as I would post up, for things like bathroom and water and stuff like that. I could always pop into these places. I made friends with the owners and stuff. There were a couple of 24-hour bars where there was, fights would break out at these places. So I've broken up a few fights, not with violence, just with presence and charisma and word and this kind of stuff. Also have gotten the police involved in those kind of situations. Helped drunk people get home. This one time, this lady was her trying to drag her boyfriend. He was falling down, and I picked him up, took him to their car, asked her, "Can you drive? Are you all right?" She says, I could tell she wasn't drunk. I have a lot of familiarity with that kind of stuff, and I help. I just help. That's my trip. I'm not pretending that I'm gonna save the world. I'm not pretending I'm gonna kick somebody's ass. I'm not all about that whole shit. I'm your buddy. I'm the friendly neighborhood Purple Lotus, and I'm the magical dead clown man. I'm not gonna get into that, but I don't know. If the way I look at it is, if you're not having fun with this, you're doing it wrong. A, and B, as far as what can I do? I like to say providing presence prevents. If I walk around a place or if I'm in a place, I have a cop belt on. My idea was to kind of from the back, I should look a little authoritative or policeman-y kind of, but not too threatening. Once you see the color and you're in this paint and the mask or whatever, you realize, oh, this guy's kind of doing a he's got a theme going on and he's playing a part, because not everyone knows about the whole real life superhero trip, and I don't really stop and explain. Usually if people give me a weird look or if they ask me what's going on, I just say, oh, costume party, and scoot, you know. I got nothing to prove. I'm having a lot of fun with this. I get to help a few people out. I'll go to like 24-hour Walmart and buy a bunch of soup and crackers and stuff like that. This is stuff I learned from Master Legend, really, about the crackers and the water and the soup, how you stock up, hit the spots, bag it up, take it to where, you know, find out where the people are sleeping outside, and you kind of just spirit by their bed wrap, and or, you know, by the bench or whatever, wherever they are, and boop, do little drop offs. I don't have anything really like I'm all that. I'm not gonna come on here and say that. That's not what I'm about. You know, as selfish as it sounds, I have a lot of fun with this, and a lot of the times, this is me. My family raised me to be helpful and you know, benevolent and altruistic. That's how I come from, those kind of people, and this is an extension of that. And it's art to me. It's another form of creativity, personal expression, and it's the proactive part is that my intent is to help. Providing presence prevents. Shady people, they get a sense of what's going on with you. They don't like it. They're prone to act out less if you're kind of around and walking around, kind of, you know, give them a little face time. Maybe that's just in my head. I don't know. But so far, it's been cool. I've done some good. I've helped some people. I'm the Purple Lotus. I live in sunny South Florida, and I love it. And I love you.